I recently started a new hobby where I had the privilege to meet new people and to engage myself in a new situation. And the second that I knew it was going to happen, I was terrified. I was so anxious the night before that I had trouble sleeping, and I honestly just wanted to blow the whole thing off. And I really tried to ground myself to stay calm as best as possible. And I just kept thinking, honestly, why do I feel so scared? Because, I mean, yes, obviously I have anxiety, so I always feel I have a good amount of anxiety just on a daily basis. But in this situation, I could feel that something else was wrong. I do think of myself as like a fairly confident person. I believe in my character and my abilities. And I realize that's where I'm doing something wrong. I have a lot of, self confidence, but I lack self respect. So I just thought a lot about these two because they feel fairly intertwined with each other. So what's the difference? Aren't they like basically the same thing? I think self confidence is built through repetition and through evidence and experience. For me, it took years of building it. And it does always come with the question of, can I do this? Do I have what it takes? So for me, it's always based on my abilities. There's always so much of my worth tied to the whole thing. I enter a room, I join a new circle of people, and there are so many things popping into my head. Will they like me? Will I be open and socially acceptable and funny? And will I be able to make a conversation? And I try to give myself a pep talk to pull myself up, telling myself that people will surely like me. I'm a friendly person and I'll try my best at introducing myself. And again, I think that's where I go completely wrong because I tie so much of my worth to these situations because I'll be heartbroken when I feel like I don't fit in and I have a hard time connecting with people. And I think the answer to this insecurity isn't confidence. I don't really need the pep talk and the absolute need for like people to like me because it is always a possible situation that you walk into something new and it will be horrible, that the circumstances will suck, that you'll have a bad time, and that people will be assholes. But at the end of the day, it does not matter because, yes, I'd be allowed to be sad about it, but that situation does not define my overall worth as a person. Their verdict of me isn't my final verdict about myself. And that's where self respect plays a huge role, in my opinion. When I think about confidence, I ask myself, can I gain their approval? And when it comes to self respect, I check in whether, do they even deserve my time and my energy? Whether their opinion has anything to do with me. And, again, realistically, would I be upset if I feel like someone can't stand me? Of course. I'm a big fat crybaby. But at the end of the day, their opinion has no say over my real character or my identity. Just because someone doesn't like me doesn't mean I'm an overall unlikable person. It's just an opinion. I recently heard this saying and I tried to look it up. I don't know if it's a quote from something or whether it's just like a saying flowing around the internet, but I keep thinking about it and I truly changed my outlook on so many things. And it's, you're looking at me, but I'm also looking at you. And it's so simple. It's such a simple sentence, I know, but it truly changed something in me because I tend to always just see myself from an outer perspective, how people will perceive me, my looks, my character, everything that I have to offer. But now I like to think about the fact that people are judging me, but I'm also judging them. Not, in a mean way, but you know what I mean. They see me, I see them. Do I need this person's approval? Do I need them to like me? So, going back to like meeting a new group of people, I can go into this interaction with so much more ease because I don't tie every little interaction to my self worth. I don't stand there constantly thinking, did I say something stupid? Why is someone talking to me? Why did they look at me weirdly? Why am I behaving so strange? I now shift towards I'm in this new situation and I hope I have a good time and I find people I click with. If not, then that's just not my crowd. There stops being this permission for me to even exist as a person. And there's obviously like a huge evolutionary essential to all of this, because thousands of years ago, belonging wasn't just a nice little feeling to have, but essential for survival. When you were rejected from a group and had to stand on your own, big chance that you'll die without the protection that a group has to offer. Now we can all live socially isolated and be completely fine, physically at least. So, maybe when you feel like you'll die from a racing heart the moment you meet new people or get disapproved of, maybe just have a little bit of compassion for that monkey brain in you. For example, when let's just say you join a football club, you'll beforehand probably think about the fact whether you'll be any good at it. Will you have the stamina to keep up with everyone? Will you be able to handle a ball? It's totally normal to doubt your ability, but that skill will build over time. You'll collect experiences which will make you better. So confidence is basically just your belief in your capability. And capability comes from experience. But when you stop asking yourself, what if being bad at this means that there's something seriously wrong with me? Then that stops being a confidence problem and starts becoming a self-respect problem. And even when you have a lot of self-respect, you can obviously still feel anxious or unsure of yourself or the situation, but you don't hand over all of your worth when you experience something bad. Don't give experiences or people that much power over you. Try to make it something equal. Meet life at eye level. I hope they choose me. To I'm also deciding whether I even choose them. It's all just feedback. It's all just information that you decide what to do with. You know, you don't need the approval of people that you don't even care about or that you don't even like, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to do with your life and you don't even want them in your life to begin with. So who cares? Who cares about what they have to say? You know, you don't abandon yourself when you realize you can't even kick a ball in a straight line or run for longer than 2 minutes. Follow up the question, can I do this, with, will I abandon myself if I can't? Don't turn a mistake into proof that you're incapable. So, real confidence might not just be the absence of fear, but also the presence of self respect. When you walk into a room and everyone decides that they don't like you, you'll still walk out with yourself. And honestly, that's the best thing that can happen to you.